Man, when a relationship ends, man, the first instinct most men have is to chase, to explain, to reason, to convince. They want her to understand. They want her to understand why she should stay, why she should not walk away. And yet, man, this very knee impulse is the exact thing that ensures she won't come back. Man, because of human psychology, especially female psychology, then psychology doesn't work that way. Man, when someone feels overwhelmed, a man, when someone feels they already have the upper hand, more pressure only pushes them further away. Man, that is why emotional withdrawal and self-control are not just important. They're everything. Now let's be clear. Now the feast. Man, then emotional withdrawal is not about playing games. Man, it is not about pretending you don't care. Man, while secretly waiting for her call with trembling hands, it is about truly reclaiming your emotional center. A man about no longer placing her at the core of your world. A man, and this shift is so powerful because it disrupts the dynamic she has come to expect. A woman who leaves or distances herself is subconsciously expecting pursuit. She is expecting pleas, tears, arguments, promises of change. She anticipates that your emotions will overflow because she knows the attachment you had. A man, and when instead you meet her withdrawal with calm silence. And man, when you refuse to beg, when you refuse to justify. Men, then there's a man. Something incredible happens. She begins to question. A man. Why isn't he reacting the way I thought? Man. Why isn't he chasing me? Why isn't he chasing me? Why does he look so composed? That doubt. Men. That disturbance in her expectations. Man plants the first seed of curiosity. And curiosity is the foundation of renewed attraction. Man. Self-control plays a vital role here. Because make no mistake, man, the urge to reach out, to text, to call, to check her social media will be overwhelming. The human brain craves closure. It craves reassurance. Men especially feel the need to fix things immediately. But masculine strength is not found in impulsive action. It is found in restraint. More needed. The man who can sit with his emotions without acting on them becomes infinitely more powerful in her eyes. Man. Because it shows he is not controlled by her decisions. Man, he is not at the mercy of her moods. There's a man, And he is not begging for her validation to feel whole. Man, this kind of composure communicates what words cannot. Self-respect. A man. And self-respect is magnetic. There's a man who respects himself automatically commands respect from others, including from the woman who walked away. Man, think about it. What happens? What happens when you withdraw? First, man, she feels the absence. In psychology, absence is not neutral. Man, it heightens awareness. Man, we only truly appreciate something when it is no longer readily available. Man, second, she begins to reflect. In the quiet space you create, man, her mind revisits the memories, the moments. Man, the comfort you once gave her. Third, she compares. Man, she looks at her current situation. Maybe another man is a man. Maybe solitude, and unconsciously measures it against what she had with you. That comparison, fueled by your emotional withdrawal, man, often highlights your value far more than words ever could. Man, but here's the catch, your withdrawal must be authentic. Man, if you're secretly obsessing over her, man, counting the days until she comes back, stalking her online. Man, she will sense that energy. Man, women have an intuitive radar for inauthenticity. Male, real emotional withdrawal means you're not just creating silence for means. You whisper dancing silence. You are creating silence for your own healing. Man, you are centering yourself again, rebalancing. Amen. Reclaiming your independence. Then there's a man. That the energy of true independence is exactly what draws her back. Let's also address a common misconception. Man, some men think withdrawal means coldness or hostility. No. Man, the emotional withdrawal is not about bitterness, blocking man, or acting out in anger. It is about quiet dignity. Man, you are not cutting her off with rage. Man, you are simply refusing to overextend yourself. Emotion. Man, if she reaches out, you respond with calmness, not desperation. A man, if she tests your silence, you maintain composure. Then a man, this subtle balance of distance and maturity is what intrigues her. Man, and you might ask, why does this work so consistently? Man, because human beings, and especially women in relationships, are wired to test value. When she pulls away, she is unconsciously testing, will he lose himself without me? Oh, will he hold his ground? If you fail that test by crumbling, man, chasing, pleading, you reinforce her decision to leave. Man, some make you fiended. There's a man, but if you pass the test through composure and withdrawal, you force her to re-evaluate. Man, she sees strength where she expected weakness. Man, and strength is irresistible. The truth is, and silence speaks louder than any text message, any call, any plea. Silence says, I will not lose myself over you. I then was whole before you, man, and I remain whole without you. That energy shifts everything. Because deep down, there's a man. A woman does not want a man who is dependent on her for his emotional survival. Man, she wants a man who chooses her out of strength, not out of need. So understand, this emotional withdrawal is not punishment, not revenge. It is the highest form of respect for yourself. And ironically, even for her. Man, through man, you are allowing her to feel the consequences of her choices without interference. Man, you are giving her space to miss you, to long for you, man, to return to you of her own free will. And that return, man, when it happens, is always more powerful than anything forced. Man, control your emotions and you control the outcome. Lose control and lose both yourself and her. The choice is always yours. Man, there's a man. And if there is one truth you should take away, it is this man. The moment you no longer chase is the moment she begins to wonder if she should chase. When the breakup happens, most men get stuck in a cycle of obsessing over what went wrong. Men, they replay conversations in their head. Men, they analyze her every word, and they constantly ask themselves, feel needed, there's a man, how do I get her back? But this approach keeps them trapped in the very mindset. They drown instead of the first place. Men, because here's the truth, women are not drawn to desperation. Men, they are drawn to value. Men, and the most effective way to make her come back is not through persuasion or pressure, a man, but through transformation. There's a man, the rebuilding value after a breakup is not about proving yourself to her. It's about rediscovering yourself for you. Men, it's about shifting the focus away from her and back onto your own growth. Men, your purpose and your life, because the moment you do that, Man, you change the energy of the entire dynamic. Man, instead of looking like the man who is stuck in the past, and you suddenly become the man who is moving forward. Man, and nothing creates attraction faster than progress. So, man, now let's break this down. Value is not something you beg for. Man, value is something you embody. A man's value is built in the way he lives. Man, direction he pursues, and the discipline he applies to himself. Man, when you start channeling the energy you were pouring into your own life, into your own. Man, you automatically become more magnetic. Mesh. She sees you focused on your career, your health, your passions. Man, your social circle, and that forces her to re-examine you in a new light. A man. Think about it, a man who is sitting at home, a man scrolling through her social media, a man waiting for her to call. What signal does that send? The man. It screams scarcity. It screams lack of direction. Man, but a man who is in the gym pushing himself. Man, a man who is building his business, expanding his network. Men, exploring his passions. That man communicates abundance. And abundance is irresistible. Here's the psychological key. Women are attracted to men who represent progress and stability. They want to feel that by being with you, their life moves forward. Men, not backward. So when you embody purpose, man, you are no longer trying to pull her back. You're pulling her forward. Men, you are saying without words, this is the direction I am moving in. Men, there's a man, if you want to be part of it, the door is open. If not, and that level of conviction is Magni way. That level of conviction is magnetic because it places you as the leader of your own life. Man, and this is where purpose comes in. Every man must ask himself, man, what is my life about beyond her? If your only purpose was the relationship, man, then when she walks away, you collapse. A man, that collapse is what she instinctively rejects. But if your life has a greater mission, whether it's building a career, men, mastering a skill, creating financial freedom, men, or pursuing a calling, you remain grounded even when she leaves. She can walk out of your life, but she cannot strip you of your purpose. That security. Then there's a man, that foundation is exactly what compels her to reevaluate. Now, Man, let me highlight something important. A man. Growth is not about pretending. Growth is not about pretending to be happy or faking progress to manipulate her. Man's. It's about genuinely committing to becoming better. Because women can sense when a man is just posting gym selfies to make her jealous. Men, versus when he's truly on a path of some discipline and self-improvement. Man, authentic growth radiates differently. It is quieter, deeper, man, and far more attractive than superficial displays. Man, and here's the beauty of this. When you grow, man, you don't just increase your chances of her coming back. You also increase your value regardless of whether she returns or not. This is why it's such a powerful strategy. Man, you're no longer hanging your entire sense of self-worth on her decision. You're building yourself into a man who is desirable to her. Yes, man, but also to the world at large. Man, you become the man other women notice, the man other men notice, the man other men respect, the man who commands attention without trying, a man. There's also another psychological shift that happens when you focus on growth. Man, you flip the script in her mind when she left. She likely believed you would crumble. She expected tears. Man, stagnation, maybe even regression. Needed. But when she looks back and sees you thriving, man, she experiences cognitive dissonance. Her mind cannot reconcile the man she walked away from with the man you are becoming. Man, and that inner conflict often reignites attraction. Man, because she begins to question her decision. Man, they did underestimate him. Did I give up too soon? Man, is he becoming the kind of man other women will want? Those questions. Man, once they take root, are incredibly powerful. And remember, a man, growth is not just external, it's internal. Emotional growth is just as important. A man, when she sees that you are calmer, more grounded, less reactive, it speaks volumes. Man, a man who is at peace with himself is infinitely more attractive than a man who is clinging to her for stability. Man, because deep down, women want a man they can lean on, man, not a man who leans on them. So here's the paradox. A man, the more you invest in yourself, man, the less you feel the desperate need for her return. And yet, man, That's exactly what makes her want to return. Man, it's counterintuitive, but it's the essence of attraction. Men, when you stop chasing and start building, man, you shift the power dynamic. Man, she's no longer the prize, now you're begging for. You become the prize she now has to win back. Man, let's be honest, who do you think she'll be more drawn to? Man, the man who is waiting around, hoping she changes her mind. Man, or the man who is actively becoming stronger, more confident. Man, more focused every day. The answer is obvious. Man, so if you want her to come back, men, stop asking how to get her back and start asking how to get yourself back. Pour your energy into becoming a man of vision and purpose. Man, become the man who doesn't just survive a breakup, but transforms because of it. Men, and when she sees that transformation, when she witnesses the strength and direction you embody, Nene, some men, she won't just think of coming back. How simple what coming on Kenke. She'll wonder how she ever walked away in the first place. Man, because the truth simple is simply value, is not begged for, it is built. And the man who builds himself will always attract back what is meant for him. One of the most powerful forces in humans, some powerful forces in human psychology is scarcity. Men, we desire what we feel we cannot easily have. Man, the moment something becomes abundant, freely available, constantly chasing us, we take it for granted. Man, but when that same thing becomes rare, limited, a man, or seemingly slipping away, suddenly its value skyrockets. Man, this principle applies to relationships just as much as it does to any other aspect of life. Man, and it is exactly why so many women end up coming back, because your absence creates scarcity. Man, and scarcity forces her to reevaluate everything. When a woman leaves, man, she usually leaves under the assumption that you'd always be there. Men, that if she changes her mind, men, she can return, and you'll welcome her with open arms. This unconscious belief gives her comfort. Man, it allows her to walk away without truly feeling the weight of the loss. Man, but the moment you embrace silence, the moment you stop chasing, man, the moment you stop making yourself available, man, you interrupt that belief. Suddenly, And she no longer has the guarantee that you will always be there waiting. And that uncertainty is where everything changes. There's a man, let's unpack this more deeply. In the beginning, after a breakup, she feels relief that she made a decision. One, relief that she has space. She may even feel empowered. Man, convinced she has control. But as time passes and you remain distant, and there's a man's something unexpected happens, her mind starts replaying. And the same memories, there's memories that felt insignificant before begin to surface with new weight. Man, the way you made her laugh, the comfort of your presence. Man, the small things she thought she could replace easily, they begin to haunt her. Ben, here's white. The human brain is wired to notice loss more intensely than gain. Man, psychologists call it loss aversion. Within there's a myth, we feel the pain of losing some days and something much stronger than the pleasure of gaining something new. Man, so when you step back, when your attention and presence becomes scarce, her brain perceives it as loss, and that loss feels heavier than she anticipated. Man, and now add to this another psychological trigger, comparison. Man, once she no longer has you at her side, man, she naturally compares her current reality with the one she had with you. Man, maybe she's talking to someone new. There's a man, maybe she's spending more time alone. Man, maybe she's leaning on friends. Whatever the case, man, she is measuring consciously or unconsciously. Men, and those comparisons are rarely flattering for the new reality. Man, why? Man, because memory has a way of softening the negatives and amplifying the positives. Man, she forgets the arguments, but she remembers your protection. Man, she forgets the flaws, but she remembers the warmth. Man, and every comparison fueled by your silence makes her see your value in a new way. But let's be clear. Let's be man. Scarcity only works when it's genuine. Man, but then there's a mess. If you're pretending to be scarce while secretly watching her every move, man, she'll sense it. Hans, then's a man. If you're constantly dropping hints on social media just to grab her attention, she'll know such as true scarcity comes from authentic detachment. A man, it means you've withdrawn emotionally, not as a strategy, but as a reality needed. You're no longer offering unlimited access to your time. energy. There's a man or emotions, and that shift forces her to feel the gravity of losing you, man. And this is where rear evaluation takes root. Man, she begins to question her choice. She starts asking herself, and did I make a mistake? Was I too quick to walk away? It doesn't want me back anymore. What if he doesn't want me bad anymore? Those are so, cause aren't neediness incredibly powerful. Those questions are incredibly powerful because they reverse the dynamic. And then the men, instead of you wondering if she'll return, a man. Now she wonders if she can return. That's shift in power is the turning point. Man, let me give you an example. Imagine a man who, after being left, continues to text, call, and plead. What does that communicate? Man, it tells her she is still in full control. Man, that he will always be there regardless of how she treats him. There's no scarcity, no loss. Man, no re-evaluation, only validation of her decision. Now imagine the opposite. She walks away, and instead of chasing, man, he disappears into his own life. Why? He grows. He thrives. He remains composed. Suddenly she feels the silence. Man, suddenly she doesn't know what he's thinking. Man, suddenly she realizes she no longer has easy access to his presence. Man, that uncertainty sparks curiosity. Curiosity turns into longing. Man, and longing drives her to re-evaluate. A man, scarcity also works on a primal level. In relationships, men, what is easily available is rarely valued. There's a man. It's when something becomes difficult to obtain or at risk of being lost that our instincts kick in to protect it. Man. This is why even in everyday life, there's a man. People often don't appreciate someone fully until that person pulls away. Man, it's not manipulation. It's human nature. Man, when applied in the context of love, a man, it creates a powerful return trigger. Man. But here's the most important part. A man, your goal is not to create scarcity just to lure her back. Man, your goal is to embody self-respect. Man, to withhold yourself because you value yourself. And if she value yourself. Man, it should not be because you tricked her into it. Man, but because she genuinely reevaluated and saw your worth with fresh eyes. Man, scarcity and removing evaluation simply accelerate that process by removing the comfort of certainty she once had. So, what does this mean in practice? It means no desperate messages. Man, no emotional outbursts, no constant checking in. Man, it means living your life fully, growing, building, moving forward while allowing her to feel the weight of your absence. Man, it means giving her the space to wonder, to doubt, to remember. And it means holding your ground when she does reach out. Man is responding with calm composure instead of instant overexcitement. Man, and when she finally comes back, and if you've truly embodied growth and self-control, she most often then man, she returns not because you forced her, man, but because scarcity and silence led her to a natural evaluation. Man, she realizes that losing you was not the liberation, was not the liberation she imagined. Man, but a loss she cannot replace. Man, and that's the essence. And that's the essence of the return trigger. You don't need to beg. You don't need to beg. You don't need to convince. Demand. You don't need to chase. All you need to do is step back. Man, rebuild yourself and let her feel what life is like without you. Then mend is the most powerful mirror, because absence is most powerful mirror. It forces her to see your value more clearly than presence ever could. A man. So understand this: when you stop being available, men, you stop being forgettable. Scarcity makes her miss you. And re-evaluation makes her want you back.